Things about this whole Hebrew language thing. The first thing is that we're not going to, the scripture, I believe it's in Hosea, but there's a scripture that warns us that we're not going to, have a clear understanding of our language. It's not going to be fully restored until the restored kingdom. When I first started embracing Torah and fellowshipping or fraternizing and politicking with more Israelites, you quickly notice that people are pronouncing things differently, and there are people who will try to argue over it, completely unnecessary if they would keep that scripture in mind. So I don't argue about how to pronounce things. Some people do seem like they're way far off. For example, saying Jesus. There was no J back then. And there's no need to be that far off. We have a letter that pronounces the yah in Yahuwah and Yahusha. There is no excuse to use a J when we have the letter Y. It's by design. Psalm 83 verses 3-5 about the crafty counsel that conspired to literally erase an entire people, the Israelite people. We're hidden in plain sight, but they did conspire to erase us and try to erase our history and try to erase our language, which is also, that brings me to my second point. I only say Paleo Hebrew because that's what the world understands. No other language on earth has a Paleo and a modern version. That video that you commented on, that's just Hebrew. What everybody knows as modern Hebrew is really like an Aramaic script. It's not Hebrew. They added vowel things and things. We could talk ad nauseum about how the Bible was text that they quite literally, it was global scale cultural appropriation, and which is just a big fancy word for theft. Like they always do. They steal the artifacts, the texts, the manuscripts, the history, the artwork, and all of that. They always steal from Black, Indigenous, and people of color. And then they do what? Put it in museums and things like that. Or in this case, they reconstitute it, and sometimes things get lost in translation, the way that they translate stuff through their understanding. When you could have just asked the people of the book how to translate it, we could have told you. But instead, they do what they do with the cultural appropriation and the theft, global scale theft. And here we are trying to now put the book back together and give it the depth and insight and understanding that Yahuwah really meant for it to have. And then it's so dangerous and irresponsible because the scripture quite literally commands, you don't add or take away from Yah's word. Your name will be written out of the book of life. Who would want to play with that? Anyway, that's my 2 points for today.